If you don't mind, man, I just want to rest in power, man. Any real scientists, man, real investigators, man, that have, made their transition along this, almost a decade journey, man, that we've been over here popping off on YouTube, man. And, we popped off initially with so many great reconners. And right now, I'm just talking about the, so-called flat earth community. I just came across this video on Mark Sargent's channel. Hey, after Mark Sargent, because he was one of the, first popping off, man. He had some great breakdowns, man. I like to belly flop it to some of his old school stuff, too. So, Mark Sargent, man, been putting it down. Eric Dubé, been putting it down, man. People like that, man, that we've built off of, what I'm saying, their recon and, use our own common sense and investigate it. So, Mark Sargent put together a nice little drop to some of the investigators, man, that we lost, or have transitioned, what I mean? However they've transitioned. And look, they're from all different walks of life. Everybody's investigating the habitat. Everybody's welcome to investigate the habitat. We call it the melanated true earth plane, not the flat earth, but the true earth, man, the melanated true earth plane, man. So everybody's invited to investigate the melanated true earth plane, man. Shout out to the MTEP room, melanated true earth plane on Facebook. Silas Nehemiah, what it do? Man, we popped that off almost a decade ago, man. So let's pop off, man. Rest in power, Mike Helmick, and all the great reconners, man, that, Mark Sargent's about to mention in this documentary, man. So let's dig on that. Let's get some flat drop 101 because they're going to show some flat drop along the way. Talk some AI, some Tesla robots, talk some things, have a good time, dropping a drop like we always do around this time. Hey, ain't no time, only the wave. Pop off, man.
Of Mike Helmick. Mike Helmick was a Christian flat earther, and he did talk a lot about flat earth from the Christian point of view. He also did a lot early on to show us how easy it was for NASA and other space agencies to fake weightlessness on the ISS in great detail.
I'm going to show you in this video how NASA fakes zero-G without a vomit comet or a zero-G plane. Now, I've heard a lot of theories from other flat earthers of some big energy, fieldy, sound wavy thing that pushes matter up in the air through sheer energy. But to be honest, some of the theories did sound like two healthy choices to me. No, I've been praying about it, and the Lord finally revealed to me one video, and I work with Blender and Unity, and I've been working with special effects software, Photoshop, for quite a while now. And when I saw this video, I realized it became instantly clear how they do it. And it's just video game technology. Now, if you're part of the geek squad or the techie crowd, well, then you already know about this technology. And so let's get to the video that caught my attention, and you will see the same things that I saw. Let's watch.
We have to introduce the concept of free fall. So let's use this model of the Earth. And let's enlist the help of a friend, Taxi. You might know her.
The only way you're going to pull that off is with one technology. And that technology is virtual reality. More importantly, though, something called augmented virtual reality. Now, before 2012, NASA used masking techniques much like we do in Photoshop and After Effects. But now we're able to simulate water and objects live in real 3D space. So we're able to take models of things that are photorealistic and rotate and move them while we are going live. Before, we used to have to render these effects frame by frame by frame, and it took extremely long amounts of time. We now have the technology to simulate water, materials, fabrics live in real 3D space with virtual reality, but better yet, augmented virtual reality. And all augmented virtual reality is taking the objects in 3D space from a virtual reality world and putting them in our world on another screen, which we can see, manipulate, and touch with virtual reality contacts or glasses. In this next segment, I'm going to show you how NASA grabs objects in 3D space, rotates them around, manipulates them. They can do this with water, with cloth, anything. And the cool thing
Malaga, where you think your billions and quadrillions of dollars is going? If they ain't going to outer space, where else do you think their monies is going? Towards silly stuff like this, to fake one of the biggest lies of all time. Because once full disclosure is finally reached, whatever that is, you got to think about, man, all the companies, everybody invested, all the SpaceX's, the um, robotics companies, man, the rocket companies, all the people making the parts for this. It's going to be a field day on people suing everybody, man, for this horrible lie that you've told our children in grade school, holding up a damn ball and acting like water is able to stay on this ball in a vacuum of space, spinning at 1,000 miles per hour. No experimentation, no proof of gravity, only a theory, not a law. And this is how you teach our children as a factual, as a factoid, my noggin? This is a travesty, man. This is malarkey, man. This is an attack, man. You know what I'm saying? They want us to feel so small on this ball. When in reality, man, the earth is everything, man. The earth keeps going, man. The earth is connected. Mama is alive, man. The water, this water connects to that water, connects to that water. HaWah got to separate the water from the water. Space is water. We just talked about curved space and vortexes. Terrence Howard's breaking down the flower of life. So now we see clearly, man. You can't just use your green screens and holograms to deceive a knock anymore. Let's go.
about it is we can take what they're doing, what they're seeing with their contact virtual reality augmented lenses, and put that on a separate video layer live. Yes, live, and do it all in real time. So I'm going to show you what it looks like to them as they're grabbing objects and manipulating them. And then I'm going to show you Microsoft's HoloSense video, their demonstration at E3 a couple years ago, of bringing a virtual reality into our world. And it is simply amazing. Let's watch.
Let's go.
Specifically, how HoloLens can turn every room of your house into a personalized video game level.
Watch this thing. Watch
But
this.
today, we want to take mixed reality one step further. So we've got something new to show you. Holograms you can hold. This holographic gauntlet is the weapon that Dan will be using while playing Project X-Ray. You'll notice that as he moves his arm, the hologram moves as well. This is a wearable hologram. And when you combine technology like this with the environment understanding of HoloLens, you can do some pretty spectacular things. Dan can even use his shield to defend himself. Nicely done. Looks like that's all of them.
Okay, so you see to the right, this guy's flipping this hat. This hat's actually on another video channel in 3D space. It's virtual reality. They're wearing augmented contact lenses so that they can interact with these 3D objects. Now, in this scene, the guy on the left in the green shirt, he thinks he sees an object in 3D space that's being broadcast to him. So he grabs it and he puts it off to the side. He's looking straight ahead because he's looking at an object rotating in front of him, but the video channel is down that is supposed to show the viewers what we're supposed to see, and so we don't actually get to see the object that he...
Look at this guy. Look at this guy dancing. Look at this jabroni, man. Look at this stuff, man. Look at this guy, man.
He has seen. And I would just sum this up as a very terrible...
Look at this guy, man. Why fake it? Why you gotta do all this fakery? Is it because you can't go past the Van Allen. Is the Van Allen belt really the firmament? You can't get out of it. You keep shooting rockets. They keep going straight to more planes. An airplane tells you everything. It's an airplane on a flat plane. A plane is a plane. A plane is a plane. You can't put a T at the end of plane and get a ball. A planet. What else can you put a T at the end of something and turn it into the complete opposite definition of what the thing is? You go from plane to spinning ball. Come on, man. This guy's over here miming. He's doing theatrical mime right now. Because he thinks he's tricking somebody.
Well, bad, horrible day for NASA doing live feeds.
It's ridiculous.
Mike Helmick's YouTube channel still remains as an archive.
Yeah.
Please go check it out and give him a sub. And thank you so much, Mike Helmick, for all of your work and your kindness.
Rest up,
We'll
Mike.
miss you.
Rest up, Mike. Rest up, bro.
In loving memory of Rob Skiba.
Rest in power, Rob Skiba. He put it up for the cons, man.
Rob Skiba was an award-winning documentary filmmaker and the best-selling author of several books, and he created the website testingtheglobe.com, which was one of the first Flat Earth-related resource websites. Rob was a Christian, and he taught a lot about Flat Earth from that perspective, but he also approached it from a scientific and observational point of view.
And that's the main thing. You know, you can get on with your Christianity, do what you got to do, but at least if you're going to do that, you know, do it with an investigation, man. And we surfing the wave for the science. We surfing the wave for the investigation. And in the Bible, it continuously says firm, fixed, and immovable, right? So, you know, it doesn't say fast spinning ball. It says firm, fixed, and immovable. So from a Christian perspective, you should be able to read that and not get a spinning ball. You know what I mean? And, you know, these are some of the great investigators, man. Rest in power, Rob Skiba, man.
For this reason, Rob Skiba quickly became one of my favorite channels to watch. He playfully said that Mark Sargent ruined his life on April 15th, 2015, which is when Rob came across Mark Sargent's Flat Earth clues. From then on, he never stopped searching for truth and learning as much as he could about our realm and how it worked. Rob has a very impressive catalog of videos and work still up at his YouTube channel, including one of the most popular, which is when Rob Skiba proved that the Chicago skyline was not a mirage.
What you're seeing here is a mirage. We typically would not be able to see this from the Lake Michigan shore. We talked about this last night. Conditions are right on the lake that we're actually seeing a mirage of the Chicago skyline. Very interesting here. Here's what's happening. This is a good example of a superior mirage. So Joshua was on the Lake Michigan shore. He was looking towards the west, and Chicago's beyond the horizon. Should not be able to see it. However, with the right conditions, we have an inversion. We have cold air near the cold lake water and some relatively warmer air above it. This will bend the image of that skyline back towards the viewer. And so typically we would not be able to see this. This image would be viewable from much, much higher in the sky up in space. But instead, we're able to see it on the Lake Michigan shore.
Man, these are bullcrap artists, man. He just gave this whole breakdown of hot and warm air, and that's why you see it, even though it should be on the other side of your ball, over the horizon. No, you see it because you see it, fool. It's straight out. It's straight. It's straight. You don't got to go crazy with an explanation about hot and cold air. You just don't want us to know we ain't on no damn ball. Let's go, man.
Okay, so after I saw that and looking at that picture, I'm sorry, there's no way that's a mirage. And I couldn't accept that. My friend Rick Hummer couldn't accept that either. He said, you know, we've all seen it. Anybody who lives in this area can look across the lake. We've all seen Chicago. And he and I put together a plan to just drive toward the city, get in a boat and head to the city and drive back. Because if it's a mirage, then it's just going to magically disappear, and then the city will roll up over the ball, and, you know, that would be what we would expect to happen. But if it's not a mirage, then the city's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, or smaller and smaller and smaller, depending on which way you're going. So, all right, so this video will be just sort of a highlight video. I'm going to keep it short. Then I'm going to do another much longer video explaining a little bit more about what we were doing and why we were doing it, and especially my feelings after it was over, and where I am now with the research that I've been doing. So with that in mind, let me just say that this video, and the purpose really of the trip, the one goal I had was to prove people are seeing from the other side of Lake Michigan is not a mirage, that they are actually seeing the city. That was my goal going there. I believe we achieved that goal, and so that is the primary focus of this video.
So here's our boat, New Buffalo Harbor, and this is where we fish out of. So we'll take the range out to be southern Lake Michigan. Cool. That'll give us our distance. Yeah, that'll give us a distance when I move the cursor over to the river. So that's all the way across. 36.87 miles to the pier head there. Cool. We'll shoot for that, and then as we get closer, you guys can just tell me which shot you want. Okay. So we got a 280-degree heading for 36 miles. All right. So we'll get trucking over that way. If you need to slow down, just let me know. I'll go about 28 miles an hour or so. Cool. So how far are we right now? 37 nautical miles on a heading at 280. And
okay, so what do you think, Rob?
I can see Chicago. We're about 42 miles away. I can see it. The problem is trying to get the camera's having trouble focusing on it because it's moving up and down and it's so zoomed in. But I can totally see it. But it's just not fast. That's amazing. 40 miles away.
That should be on the other side of your ball, boss. Come on, man. If you're on a spinning ball, you're on a ball. You're on a ball. Like a basketball, you're on a ball. There's certain things you shouldn't be able to see because of the curvature. The water can't be flat because you're on a curved ball of water. It's spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, traversing through space at 67,000 miles per hour. This is what not a space agency says. I mean, NASA says, you know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be able to see what they're seeing. Their only way to refute it is to make up some BC bullcrap about mirages and hot and cold water and yada yada. And that's why you can see cities when you should not be able to see these cities on a ball.
Here we are. Heading out. Lake Michigan. Woohoo!
Bing bow.
What do you think, Skiba?
I think it's amazing, dude. It certainly did. It's not a mirage, I can tell you that.
Now, when you and I first started talking, and you brought this up to me, and I said, oh yeah, I can see Chicago across Lake Michigan. You remember what you said?
I don't remember what I said.
You went, no way. You said, no way.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, you can see all the way across. And now you've seen it.
I've seen it, and it ain't a mirage.
It's not a mirage.
Don't even need the Nikon full fix.
Don't need it.
Wow. The naked eye, y'all.
That's a heck of a mirage right there.
Say that again, Tony?
That is a heck of a mirage right there.
Yeah. And hey, just so you know, this whole time, what has been our heading?
Our heading has been 280 degrees, which is just 10 degrees off of due west.
But we also were using, what was our focal point?
Our focal point was the Sears Tower.
Which is also known as the Willis Tower, right?
here's my point. And again, shout out and rest in power, Rob Skiba and all the investigators. There's people investigating, man. All different creeds and colors and ethnicities and backgrounds and religions. Everybody want to know where they live. This kind of investigation brings us together. It's not no distraction to separate nobody. It brings us together because, again, even a hamster in a cage would sniff around that cage to figure out its environment, man. It's the most basic instinct of anybody who's aware, truly conscious. You're in a habitat. What kind of habitat you in? You just want to stay in the cities and go to work and go to sleep? Like, that's not living. That's not life. That's not being alive. That's not using your senses, my nagas. We're teaching each other how to use our senses again, getting it wherever we can get it. Okay, they over here investigating. Cool. We got some Christian investigators. We got some Muslim investigators. Hey, shout out to John Abazayed, Persian investigators, different type of cartographers. We got Perry Reese maps. We got aquadescent as a muzzle aquadescent maps. We got David Rumsey maps, man. Standard this and that. Like, we are investigating. You're gonna have to get up out our way. Anybody that says they're investigating, unless you a hijack, you got to get out their way and let them figure it out for themselves. Even if you think you know the truth, you got to at least tip your hat and say, hey, man, I applaud you for even looking into it. Somebody like this willing to take a boat out here in the open water. Hey, HaWah, that water, he's surrounded by that water just to prove a point. And not everybody that do these investigations, I forgot the name. Ty Battle shouted him out on the last Soul Bone podcast. Shout out to Aqua Ty Bezan, CJ Battle, Aqua San, Chef Condi, man, brother Nate. Like, we up, my jigger, we up, man. We up, man, because we asking the right questions. It's where a con can be a con and have a conversation. Because you got to get out here and investigate and see it for yourself. When we're telling you that the moon has its own light and it's not reflecting the sun's light because it actually cools the surfaces, the moon shade is going to be warmer than the actual moonlight hitting an object. Did you know? Did you know? If you take it out the moonlight, it will be warmer because the light of the moon cools surfaces. It cools surfaces. It has a different fundamental property principle than the sun's light that warms and heats the surface. If the moon was reflecting the sun's light, it would still have the same properties as the sun's light. It wouldn't change and flip properties into cooling surfaces. It would still be warming up surfaces like the window in your car or whatever. The mirror reflecting light is still going to heat surfaces. I can use a magnifying glass reflecting light or as a medium of light. It's still going to warm up that surface and start that fire. It's not going to flip into another property and start cooling the surface. The moon's light cannot be the sun's light. Hey, I don't care what other investigation you're going from there. You could say the moon's light's coming from the black sun in the inner earth. All right, cool. At least you know it's not the sun's light. Or it's its own luminary, its own light, a lesser light, like the Book of Enoch say, right? So, hey, man, shout out to Rob because he's investigating. And not everybody that investigated, made it out unscathed. Some lost their lives to investigate because they got tired of being lied to. Is we tired of being lied to? They just tired of the lies. We got to teach our children lies or we're going to figure it out. We know at some point we all got to work together. Us figuring out who we are and tribing up does not take away from us being able to work together with whoever, you know what I'm saying? As long as you respect us as code keepers, do what you got to do. That's between you and HaWah, how you get down. Your get down is your get down. How you program is how you program. We programming with the code, the 9 code, the spiral up code, MHOE. Once you understand that, and overstand that, then cool, man. We can work together and solve some problems with whoever. But, it's all got to be respect, man. And that's why I can do this. I can respect whoever that's investigating because at least he's on his boat talking about his heading, trying to figure it out, and come back with confirmation and say, that's not a mirage, boss. I can see it straight ahead, man. I should not be able to see Chicago with my own eyes or with any camera. It should be past the curvature, past the horizon. It should not be popping up unless it's a mirage, superior mirage. Hell no, boss. It's straight ahead. Outer space is straight.
Yes, the Willis Tower.
The Willis Tower, and we can see it the entire time.
We can see it the entire time, and every morning that I fish, I can usually see 2 of the 3. And then when the sun hits the city, you can see 3 of the 3 almost every morning, as long as it's clear.
And is it because there's a haze and you finally, like, cutting through the haze? There's enough
Yeah, it
haze
finally cuts to the haze. The sun angle, as soon as it gets high enough, it hits that white building and it just shines.
Gotcha.
When it's zoomed in, it's almost impossible to keep it. But you don't even need to zoom in. I mean, it's right there.
Wow.
27 miles out. Hey, man.
And again, here's the math. Every mile is supposed to be, I think, 8 inches of curvature or 6 inches. I think it's 8. So every mile, based on you being on a circumference ball, 25,000 miles circumference of the earth, whatever they say, based on that circumference, that's your ball, right? I should not be able to see these buildings. Based on every mile should be 8 inches of curvature. So if they're talking about 27 nautical miles out, that's 27 multiplied by 8. That's how many inches of curvature. By the time you get to that spot, the building should be gone. You know what I mean? And you can measure it based on what they've given us as their mathematics, their dimensions, their circumference, right? Their math. You can't make your ball no bigger. That's your ball. You say your ball's 25,000 miles circumference. All right. So we can do these calculations. And this is what they're doing. Based on our distance, we should not see this thing if every mile is a curvature of 8 inches. Again, is that how the Aztec built the railroads, or the Chinese, whatever you want to say, built the railroads? 1,000 miles of railroads, you think they curved them things? They adapted to the curvature every mile. They made 8 inches of curvature. You think they did that when they built these bridges and China Wall, and that they curving these bridges every mile, 8 inches, making sure that it's curving with the ball? You think these engineers are accounting for the curvature? No, we got plenty of engineers that came out and said, we didn't account for any curvature building no bridges, miles and miles of bridge, miles and miles of railroads. Nah, man. Nah, man, they didn't account for no curvature then. Cables underground connecting, you know what I'm saying, all the communications through the cable systems are not accounting for curvature. That's why they got to make up bull crap like mirages. Let's get a little more.
Well, we're on the bow of the boat. So, Rob, explain what you're seeing on the haze.
Purple haze, man.
Well, see, what a lot of people mistake as a curve, it's the haze.
I've become more and more convinced that what we think is the water being obscuring the bottom of ships is the same illusion that we see when we see cars driving out in front of you on a long straight road.
Yeah.
It looks like the car disappears wheel first into the road, and it looks like it's almost going into water. But it's not. It's just a mirage. And then when you drive to the same spot, the car that disappeared in front of you, when you drive to that same spot, now all of a sudden you disappeared to the guy behind you.
Right.
So I believe that what we may be looking at is an optical illusion.
Well,
I mean, if we want to talk about a mirage, that's not a mirage. That's not a mirage. But when we see things disappear, I think that what we're seeing is disappearing due to a mirage-like effect of the water. And we can see the haze at the bottom of the city right there, obscuring.
Well, and that's go ahead.
Obscuring the haze right now is obscuring the bottom of the city. You can see that right there. But I think that we also see the same effect with water. That water can do the same, create the same type of illusion that we're seeing with the haze right there, obscuring the lower part of a city or a boat or whatever you're looking at across the way.
right there that I do believe is going to finally come out and say it's flat. It's flat. Absolutely.
And we were about 8 nautical miles off the coast of Chicago there, and didn't really see any need to go any further. We saw everything we needed to see, and we were running kind of late, needed to get back, and actually running a little bit low on fuel too. So I said, yep, just head back. I'm going to set up some cameras and point them at the city so we could watch it the whole way back and show everybody that it's not a mirage.
Rob has quite an impressive body of work. Many of his videos are used to this day, and you might not even know that it came from Rob. Thank you, Rob, for your passion and your tenacity, and for having a love of truth, and for the gifts that you have given us that keep on giving.
Let's go.
In loving memory of Bob Nodell. Bob Nodell was the host of the popular Sunday show Globebusters and one of the forces in Flat Earth. Bob was intelligent, and he had a talent for explaining complex subjects in a way that made it easy for us to understand. Bob was a loyal friend to all of us, as well as a husband and father. He was also the first to defend me or anyone fiercely when we were the target of online instigators. He was a staple at every Flat Earth conference since 2017. In fact, Bob helped me start doing live events, and it is because of Bob and Cammie's help that we are all sitting here together in this room today. Bob was extremely excited about the Las Vegas conference. He wanted it to happen in 2020, and we started to plan it when the world was shut down for the pandemic COVID-19. It is heartbreaking that he can't be with us here tonight, but we dedicate this event to you, Bob. We celebrate your life and your work, and we will truly miss you. There is a definite void in the community without you. Please enjoy these short clips of Bob.
Let's go,
You
Bob.
might already be signed up for the Flat Earth International Conference. Jamie Leary was curious. Jamie, you found shouldn't be that surprising that they're gathering here in Denver.
Not at all, and you can actually stream Flat Earth information live 24/7. The guy who created this channel, it's called Globebusters, and he lives right here in Denver. Denver has one of the largest concentrations of flat earthers around, which is why this is the second international conference being held right here in Denver. Now, we talked to the man behind this YouTube channel to find out what flat earthers are all about.
We are of the opinion that not only is the Earth flat, and I don't mean there's not surface features like mountains and stuff like that, but we're not on an actual ball. It's a plane.
Bob Nodell is well known in the flat earth community. His YouTube channel draws international attention, for better or for worse.
I get a lot of death threats, stuff like that. People do not like this subject at all.
You can decide for yourself.
Join us in Denver this November for the Flat Earth International Conference 2018.
The billboard for the convention just went up along E470.
People can go there, be uninhibited about their beliefs, what they think. They can discuss it openly and freely.
As a pilot and engineer, Bob used to think it was crazy. One of the theories he now believes:
flat earthers also do not believe that there is any such thing as space. And that's a crazy claim, right?
So what about astronauts?
The space shots are actually shot in a swimming pool. And they are shot in a place that's called the NASA Neutral Buoyancy Lab. Okay? And in this neutral buoyancy lab, they have a full-size mock-up of the ISS.
Bob knows this is...
Look here, man. He just said he getting death threats, and now he didn't even make it to the Vegas conference. I don't know, what happened to everybody in every situation, but why wouldn't they want you to know that you can go straight to get to more land, boss, that you don't have to put on an astronaut uniform, hop into a rocket, go into the abyss of outer space. All you got to do is go straight on your boat, straight on your plane. Now, I'm not saying they're going to let you do that because there's something called the Antarctic Treaty. We recon that. And all these countries are guarding the wall, like Game of Thrones. They're guarding the whole outer wall. All these countries got people guarding the wall. So you take your boat south in any direction south, since north is the center, South is opposite that. All this would be south. Again, east and west is clockwise and counterclockwise. South is everything else. So you go south in any direction, you're going to run into some type of military, right? And they're going to say, where's your passport, boss? Where you trying to go, boss? You trying to go off the ball? You trying to go off the ball? Truman Show? You trying to glitch out the Matrix? It's like a video game. You run into your boundaries like, oh, you ain't supposed to see this part of the game. You didn't unlock this level yet. So what happened to Rob, and what happened to Bob, and what happened to all these people, not just them, but the investigators? Like the healthcare business got a lot of doctors going missing. So all these experts and people doing these experiments and really doing them, like doing these big seminars, and all this drop that of course they getting from a lot of Drop Nation drop too. I mean, we've been doing this a long time, but they might get some of them maps, stuff that we digging on, whoever digging on it, they'll present it and all that. But they're putting a lot of weight to it. They're putting a lot of PhDs behind it, right? They're putting a lot of experts behind what they're doing, and it puts them on this, really high priority, high target type of situation. You know what I'm saying? So people really risk their lives to tell y'all the truth, to tell anybody the truth, to search it out and seek it out, to investigate. If you don't believe what Bob is saying, that's cool, or Rob is saying, that's cool, but as an investigator, you should also be an investigator. Maybe you reach a certain conclusion, that's cool, that's your investigation. Somebody else might reach an entirely different conclusion, and you can't knock them as an investigator because they didn't reach your conclusion. All they'll ask you is, where did you get your ideas and conclusions? Did you get it from that globe in your classroom when you were 3 or 4 years old, 5 years old? You know what I'm saying? Did you get it from all them globes and all them Disney movies and cartoons? And when did you get programmed to think that you were on a ball? You think they told you the truth from the gate? You think your enemy would tell you the truth because you rely on your enemy to educate you? And your enemy, your adversary, is anyone who's against you on your own land. I'm talking to the Nagas right now. So these people ain't going with the grain. They ain't going with the system, right? They asking different things. This ain't no new psyop. People have been asking questions for thousands of years, right? So, we done heard it all. Oh, this is a distraction from the Hebrew community. Like, why? To ask questions about the Creator's creation, the earth plane, the land that you are to inherit. You don't want to know if the land that is your inheritance is a ball or it's a flat, spread out plane. You don't think the Creator wants you to investigate the knowledge of your habitat? You don't think the Creator gave you senses to know if you spinning or not? You don't think the Creator gave you no sense? You wouldn't feel no spinning. You wouldn't feel no movement going 67,000 miles per hour, huh? You wouldn't feel nothing, huh? All this water crushed into the ball, quadrillions of tons not flying off in a vacuum of space. Michael Jordan still dunking from the free throw line. He's not crushed to the floor with all these quadrillions tons of water crushed. The birds are still flying and unfazed by your gravity, boss. You're not asking questions. So again, man, cheers to the investigator.
Is controversial. He welcomes debates and says,
investigate it yourself. Do your own
Let's
research.
go.
That's what matters.
Let's go. Let's go, Bob.
One other question that she asked, and a lot of people ask this question, and I think it's a good question, so we're going to also address it really quick. So she goes, I'm on board with many things. There are still questions I have, but I can definitely see why there are so many flat earthers. The question her husband gave her, however, is, if it's true, does it change how I live my life? For me, I have to say no. It would be nice if it's true for the government to acknowledge and stop charades. However, I find it really hard, especially knowing someone that works for NASA and his job is to get new packages ready, yada, yada.
We get this question a lot, man. How does it change my life? What's the, so what? You know what I mean? Like, It's a distraction, same type of thing. Hey, look, man. If I tell you that they spraying poison in the skies, does that change your life? You slowly die. If you think you're spinning subconsciously and you're never still, how do you ever have a still moment if you're spinning at 1,000 miles per hour? Does it change your life to be still? To be confirmed for the Creator's word, to be confirmed by the con? Only a con can confirm something, man. And if you're a con, you better watch your conduct. Better keep the code, con. Yeah, it does something to me. It changes my life to confirm the Creator's word, the Creator's works, because it's a lot more beautiful and mysterious, and it's a lot more to it, man, when you think about it as a man, because now you can really factor in the the vortexes, you know what I'm saying, the vortices, man. Being able to go into the different outer ice rings, different rings, you know what I'm saying, and where's the land of Presta connected to? What type of vortexes is connected through Arizona, man? Sedona, chilling in Sedona. Tribal vibe is high mountains on the side, life in Arizona. Come on, man. I mean, it's awakening, like the earth becomes alive, man. Once you really factor in the waters that connect to each other, man, and that it is possible. You're just being bullied. We're just being bullied, kept like cattle in the middle earth. They call this middle earth, right? They keep us in middle earth and they don't let us get to outer earth, right? So now you feel like, okay, it makes you tribal, makes you want to fight back, makes you want to say, man, it's my land, man. You can't keep me from going straight. Who made you the king of going straight? I can't go straight. Like, it makes you ask these type of questions. Same thing as the indigenous truth, not being necessarily from Africa, all melanated people, right? Because we know that's a lie. It makes you want to fight back for your land and say, oh, I was invaded here, not just dropped off in a mix of things. I was invaded. Oh, I was picked on. I was mutilated. I was murdered. I was genocided on. I was being destroyed all this time. I wasn't no slave. I was a Khan. I was a king. I was a priest Khan, right? I'm a queen. So, it makes our sisters and our brothers, man, really connect to their roots, man. It makes you tribal. Yeah. The hijack don't want you to come to life. They don't want you to get in, start wrapping your hands and getting in fight mode. What's fight mode without the code? So first we had to start with the code. Now we can let that fight mode, let that dragon continue to rise as we talk indigenous truth, as we talk 432 frequency harmonics, as we talk about the code. We're going to get back on our code keeper series. Don't think I forgot. I'm just letting it boil up, man. I'm just letting it heat up. So we ready for this next installment, man. As we talk about the Presta flow, as we talk about the flat drop 101, you know what I mean? All this is awakening your tribal instincts, your tribal fight backness, your tribal orientation. You can't go to war without orientation. You can't go to war without understanding your terrain, the plane. You think you're on a spinning ball? You can't go to war, man. That's what's wrong with you. You think you're spinning right now. You need to connect to the flow of the earth, man. The earth fights for you. The earth fights back. The code is the code of nature, right? Nature is created by the only creator. It make Joe-E most high over everything, boss. So it matters to us. To these hijacks, it don't matter. They just want to go to work, go home, and pass away. That's it, right? But it matters when you're connected to HaWah and the greatness and the works of HaWah. HaWah.
Yada, yada. So again, what difference does it make? Like I said, that's a great question. This is something that is not an easy answer because of the magnitude of what we're talking about here. How it will change your life, first of all, when you understand it, is dramatic, to say the least. Will it change you from having to go to your job every day and the things that you typically do every day? No. But when this knowledge becomes more mainstream and these agencies are starting to be held accountable, and you understand that they're all participating in this, not just the United States government, not just NASA, but China, Russia, India, all of them have space programs. They all have the same symbolism. They're all doing the exact same thing to their citizenry. And the first thing you have to understand about this is that the deception goes all the way to the top. And when I say all the way to the top, you have to kind of get rid of the notion that the people at the very highest levels are working together. The people that control the world we're not against each other. There was never any such thing really as the Cold War. We're really not enemies with anybody else. This is all a facade that's being brought on for our benefit. But the people that are in power, that have all the money, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the Morgans, the on and on and on, these are the people that literally run the central banking system, which of course has permeated. In any country that tries to get away from it, their leaders are quickly assassinated. It goes on and on. So you have to understand conspiracies a little bit to understand the magnitude of this deception. So why would they do this? Why are they trying to hide the fact that we are on an infinite plane or on a flat earth rather than a ball? Well, the answer to that, there's a lot of answers to that, but in my personal opinion, if you isolate people into the idea that they're on a blue marble that's in the middle of a universe that is really insignificant, and there's thousands or millions and billions of other worlds and possibly other civilizations, that makes most people think that we are insignificant and that we did actually come about as some sort of an accident. Now, when people believe that, their minds are much more malleable into being given the idea that there is no God, there is no creator, that all of this is just some sort of random happenstance. And because of that, that also gives the controllers this fertile soil to build other deceptions on. And it's all about control. Remember, it's not about money. Money is irrelevant. They print the money. Money is just something that you and I agree has value, but it really is just pieces of paper, right? These people are money. They can print money all day long if they want to, and they do. So it's not about that, and it's not just about power either. It's about total control, mental, physical, spiritual, every way, shape, or form possible. And to wrap your head.
It's about hiding HaWah, hiding the creator. See, love to all these researchers, but what they don't have is that dragonfly perspective. To see it from a Khan's perspective, right? Because we see it as Psalms 83, Confederacy. That when he says Morgan, I'm thinking more, man. You know, those G's and C's are interchangeable in the Hebrew. So Morgan is more Khan. Khan, more priest, whatever you want to call it. We know it's a more war. We know it's Moab in there. We know we against, you know what I'm saying, the Amalekites. We against Ammon in them, man. So we know that they see these other people think it's just, yeah, man, just control the world and keep people blind, deaf, and dumb. They don't know that they are just a casualty of war, right? Because the real war, the real target, my Naga, is the Naga. They've done all this to keep the Naga asleep. Who's the biggest threat to these vortexes once you realize all you gotta do is go straight? These Nagas got so much power they can astral project to these vortexes once they understand the orientation. What did they just say? The prime or the Israeli, I forgot what title, but they had some Israeli conference, and we put on the IG. The person said, speaker said, the biggest threat to the Israeli, flow is the black community, the young generation of the black community, something like that. Hold up, man. I'm just popping off because they see it as, everybody that is not elite, right? But there's levels to it. Yeah, everybody, that's not elite might be getting some type of casualty of war, treatment, you know what I'm saying? But you're not the target. They slowly reveal the target. I mean, why would we be the biggest threat to whatever their system is, man? Right? Everybody surfing the wave on the IG, what it do? That was Judith Varney Shore. We got this before. What she say? Why are we their major promanagas? Hold up. We got it.
Of the Israeli government holding a private convention here in the United States. One of the people in attendance at this secret meeting was Judith Varney Shore. She's a former Israeli consul general who was operating out of Atlanta. She was one of the main people saying that the biggest problem that they had was young black people in the United States. But don't worry, they've got some black leaders on the payroll.
The major problem of Israel is with the young generation of the black community. The problem of Israel is with the young generation of the black community. Black is with the young generation of the black community.
And black means wicked in the dictionary, so who are they calling the wicked community, right? These Hebrews, right? Psalms 83. They have reclassified us, rebranded us, given us, refer to us as bywords, right? Like black, savages, and thugs, and all these things, you know what I'm saying? Why would we be their major problem, Managi?
This was an Israeli government official who was saying this.
Right.
Not some low-level operative or some rogue member of their diplomatic corps. This was a senior member of their administrative government who was saying this on American soil.
On American soil. So they're not in Israel saying that. They're in America saying their major problem is with the black community, young generation. Come on, boss. Come on, boss. Shout out to Sekau. Y'all hit up Sekau_Mackley. He got the drop, man. Always dropping great drop. Oh, man. Great comment from the fan, man. We shared this on the Soul Bone podcast.
Video of the Israeli government holding a private convention here.
There we go. Hey, out to the con B.O.B., man. He said, trust, if they openly talk like this, it's a much larger deception going on as well, man. Shout out to B.O.B., man. B.O.B. was one of the first that reached out, get props for even talking about 432. This is way back on Twitter. So, we hope this ain't clone, B.O.B. Show your belly button if you ain't clone. I don't want to see it, but I just hope it's the real B.O.B., man. That's all, man. I just hope it's the real B.O.B. Hey, man, shout out, shout out to everybody, man, trying to drop this drop. So we are their major problem. I get it. Hey, shout out to Robert Shalazar. His spells must be broken. Waking up my noggin. Shout out to Rob Shalazar. Even the FBI is telling you that you from here. So you the biggest problem for the Israeli consulate.
My people, listen to what Frank Glue.
And the FBI is telling you that you are from where?
He just said on MSNBC.
Reminds us, no, we're not white supremacists, we're white nationalists. And so a portion of society goes, oh, thank God, they're not white supremacists. And they don't realize that white nationalism is not American either. So, it's a notion that we should be living separately, that maybe we carve out a part of the United States and put the whites there and stick the blacks elsewhere or move them somewhere. They should go back where, quote unquote, wherever they came from, which was here. So,
Whoa. He didn't have to say which was here. He could have said wherever they came from, like Africa. This was his perfect Africa moment. He could have easily got that out. Go back to Africa, but he said which was here. I know a lot of us are triggered to not even accept and absorb truth. We just find some excuse. He said, which was here. These blacks should go back wherever they came from, which was here. Shout out Forbidden Heritage, Bees Camp, man. You know what I'm saying? Team DNA Boxing, wherever they came from, which was here. I am banging with it, dude. Zion Marley, LL Bro, got the sleight of mouth, slick with the talk. Shout out to Zion, Marley, the entire Marley family. Everybody surfing this wave, man. Everybody surfing the wave. Monaga Drop Nation is spreading, and it's great to stand on what we've been standing on. That we from here, that we are Israel, and we're from here. That we in that 9 code and that 432. That's what we standing on, man. That's what we standing on. Which was here. Yeah. Let's get a few more memorandums and some drop. You know what I mean? And I'm enjoying surfing this wave with Mark Sargent in there, remembering the fan that, the investigators, the researchers that aren't here no more, man, but they laid so much foundation. Let's get it.
Head around this type of deception, whether you're religious or not. If you're religious, then you understand that this is Satan's plan all along. If you're not religious, then you need to understand that people are power hungry and they will do anything to gain and maintain this type of control.
Bob, great to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Unlike many of the people I met at the conference, whose flat earth beliefs stem from a literal interpretation of the Old Testament, Bob's approach is based on scientific rationalism.
I've always been a little bit different. I've always seen the world a little bit different. I was put in special schools. They said that I had a genius IQ, which whatever. But I had a hard time relating to other people and the world in general. And I never was able to understand why the world seems to be so messed up. Why all these wars? Why all the killing? Why do they spend so much money on things like this when they could just spend that same money and fix the problems?
If you were shown conclusive proof of a globe Earth with your own eyes, how would you feel, and would you be able to adjust your viewpoint to match?
Honestly, I would be relieved. I would be, because that would mean that this nightmare is over.
Is it a nightmare?
It is. It is a nightmare because we're going against the entire belief system of the entire world. I certainly do not want to be in the position that I'm in, being ridiculed, being fired from jobs. Nobody wants that. And the only reason I do it is because I truly care about the...
It's a nightmare, man. Now, real talk. Us investigating, we've already accepted being called whatever you're gonna call us. We've been going. We say you ain't from Africa, we're going against everything. We say you in 440, get to 432. We say, man, you being hijacked, go directly to HaWah, keep the code. Nobody's doing it. We're going against the grain of all these religions. We're going against the grain of all science, all this stuff. They coming out with robot dogs and all that. We're going against the grain with their technologies, going back into our energy. But yeah, you somehow prove you're on the ball. You know what I'm saying? They could have been done that. They could have been put a camera on the satellite, and before it went to Pluto, turned around and took a real picture of the Earth. But if I can't find one real picture, if they keep telling me all these are composites, then that's not real. If gravity is a theory, not a law, it's not real. But if I see Chicago from Lake Michigan, you tell me that ain't real. It's a mirage. It's a nightmare, boss. Look, we're just out. We're in it for the truth. We're not in it just for whatever you want to call it, flat earth, yada, yada, yada. We're in it for the truth, man. If the public school tells us we from Africa, we got to fight that. If the public school tells us we on the ball, we got to fight that. Or at least investigate and get our own, come to our own conclusions, man. You know what I'm saying? A couple more minutes.
The future of humanity.
Bob took me up to the Red Rocks Amphitheatre on the edge of the Rocky Mountains to cast a view out over the flat horizon. What are your hopes and expectations for the future of flat Earth?
My hopes are for all this to go through as seamlessly as possible without, bloodshed and without, too much conflict. But the people that really run this world are not going to let go of that power easily. In the short term, things are going to get a lot worse before they get better. But when things do start getting better, we're going to go into what I would term as a more utopian type of word instead of dystopian like we're clearly headed for.
Everyone I've spoken to, when you really boil it down, what people want is the same as what anyone wants. To have some sort of agency, to be relevant to something, to have love, all these things.
Yes.
Do you feel then that Flat Earth really delivers that in a way that the Globe Earth never could, perhaps?
Of course people are going to want to feel like they're part of something and not so insignificant. That makes perfect sense. So yeah, when you realize that and you realize that this world is much more special and you are much more special, then yeah, it makes a huge psychological impact. Absolutely.
And from the deepest depths of all of our hearts.
All right. Thanks, Bob, man. Thanks to everybody, man, surfing the wave. They mentioned Mark Sargent with the Flat Earth. Man, I want to at least, get a current reference for these Flat Earth clues because sometimes we play it live at 432 to drop. Man, look out. We are, just refunctioning our app with our website and all this is coming back. Just give us the rest of this year just to get everything, pinpoint so we can hit 2024 popping off. Website, app, all our flow, my noggins in. This has been one of the most tumultuous times, just keeping everything, keeping the vision, just flowing and, connecting and all that, man. But we got through it. I believe we're on the other side of, everybody's being tested, man. I believe we're on the other side of some of our hardest tests, man. So it has gotten darker in times, but that's what, brings that light, man. We're born in the darkness like Batman. We're born in it, man. So you survive with us, you surviving with yourself, with your families. You gotten through these times, like I keep telling you, man. And I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of us. I'm so proud of, myself, my noggin. Like, be proud of yourselves, man. So we're here. A lot of people are here. And you got to just keep thinking about those that are all, surfing this wave, are all on this investigation. I want to look into these flat earth clues. Yeah, now this one was hard to find, man, because they like to take a lot off of the YouTube and the internet period with Mark Sargent's flow, but it's a pretty cool playlist called Crash Course in Flat Earth. I'll leave it for you. Got a bunch of different documentaries that we can dig into in the future. I want to dig on that Impossible, man. Impossible. That seems pretty cool. Truth does not fear investigation. Okay, I can dig it. The Zatism, Zatec, you know what I mean? Zatectic, Zetetic. Yeah, I think it's Zetetic, but I think it's some real code work in there. That Zatetic flow. So, Zatetic, man. You say it, man. 10 times. Say it, man. Zatetic. Flat Earth, the conspiracy to hide God. I mean, that's kind of what we're saying. They're talking about big bangs and trying to hide the creator with some accidental space dust. Yeah, this is a 2-hour long doc. We're going to get maybe 10 minutes and keep going. Start talking some Tesla robots. I'll leave the link, man, because this documentary is hard to find on the tube. Let's go.
This is a Reader's Digest version containing many of the interesting parts of the flat earth theory. For those who have already started seeing things with new eyes, it will be mostly a recap, but there could be a few new angles you haven't looked at. For the rest of you who are new to this, the first question is invariably, is this a joke? Because it's a joke, right? And that's where we start, because it's one of our 2 basic childhood facts. 1 + 1 = 2, and the Earth is a globe.
Terrence Howard just broke that down. 1 + 1, 1 times 1. All right, let's go.
We're taught this before almost everything else, and that right there should give you a clue on how serious this secret is. But for those who have forgotten their history, here's the modified Men in Black version. For the first 4,000 years of our civilization, we believed that the Earth was a flattish disk surrounded by a solid dome barrier called the firmament. All of the 5 major religions had their own version of this, and the churches enforced the belief. Then, around 1514, a man named Copernicus created a new model of the world. He stated that if the Earth was spinning around 1,100 miles an hour and circling the sun at 60,000 miles an hour, the world was then round. And while the math more or less worked, there was a problem. It was 1500, and the technology to prove such a theory wasn't there. The first balloon to carry people wasn't invented until 1760. Sailboats were the only travel over water, and the fastest thing on land was a horse. But the new worldview was promoted and took hold. The religions adapted to handle the new reality, and life moved on. More importantly, the globe model was quickly introduced into the education systems. Over the next 500 years, the challenges to this model faded, to the point where the globe was accepted as universally as physical laws such as gravity. Read that again if you didn't absorb it. For 20 generations, people believed that the Earth was round because there was a globe in every classroom they sat in. There was no proof. Hundreds of years went by, and still civilization had no way of proving the theory. Planes were invented around 1900, but until 1957, nothing could go high enough to give a true perspective of where we lived. And that's when everything got strange. The United States and Russia both sent up rockets high enough to take decent pictures, and what they saw scared them a great deal. How do we know they were extremely concerned about the sky? Because the US and Russia immediately started firing nuclear weapons straight up, and they kept firing for the next 4 years. A few things to keep in mind here. First, this was now 1958. Nuclear weapons were very expensive and hard to come by. These also weren't those nominal yield 20 kiloton toys we used on Hiroshima. This was high kiloton to low megaton, and we couldn't get them up fast enough. And the strangeness continued in other places. In 1959, only a year into the atmosphere bombardment, 10 nations, including the United States, made Antarctica off-limits to any colonization.
Antarctic Treaty. Recon the Antarctic Treaty, Monarch. Hijack City. They think they can distract us with the hijack. But the hijack know that we fight back. And every time, man, we bounce back like round ball, but we ain't on no spinning ball. Not now, y'all. We woke up with a smile, y'all. They want to put us in the void, but my knockers here to make some noise. The real ones, man, they playing with toys, like NASA with the holograms.
A treaty was put in place, and to this day remains intact. Over 50 nations now have signed off on this treaty. Do you know any treaty that has lasted that long between all industrialized nations? Moreover, do you know any piece of real estate in the world that is owned by no one? You would think...
Hey, why are they interrupting us? Why do you think they're trying to interrupt your wave function? See, when a group of noggins start digging on this at the same time, it causes glitches in the matrix. So, right now, the world is starting to kind of, I mean, you got noggins that didn't see clearly 6, 7 years ago, that if you have the same conversation with today, they'll be way more receptive. You know what I'm saying? Their reality is changing as well. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta be patient with, each other having these conversations. But, to my noggins that's asking the right questions, this all makes perfect sense. Dodge the hijacks, man. A Lego.
think at the very least one of the large oil companies would use their huge financial resources to explore this region, and yet they don't even petition the idea. The short version of the discovery is this. By 1958, the military had discovered the very solid upper and outer edges of our world, and had to create a way to put up do not enter signs without looking obvious. It was tricky, but if there is one thing I have learned about the authority, it's that nothing is left to chance. Most of the work had already been done for them, so their job was primarily in the details. The sky part of the dome was much higher than commercial air traffic, so the only thing they had to worry about there was the space program, which is immediately militarized. The outer border had the natural benefit of not only an extensive ocean, but a scaling decrease in temperature and a steady increase in iceberg frequency to discourage ships, all leading to a permanently frozen landmass that could not be used for any form of agriculture. This ocean and ice layout had worked well for thousands of years because the technology of the current civilization didn't evolve quickly. Sailors avoided cold weather seas whenever possible, and oxygen levels get low enough to harm people, even on high mountains. The brilliance of the design comes in the simple fact that human males are corrupted by power. Corruption so total, in fact, that they would rather hide the world itself rather than risk their power on it. You could theorize that kings and popes were told of the world a long time ago. Maybe an ancient scroll or book. Perhaps an interdimensional being told the tale of what the world looked like. But this was all but dismissed because even the most powerful leaders of the day couldn't reach the borders. And if they couldn't, what chance did the general public have? It's one thing to be told of the giant impenetrable dome, but it's a whole different animal when you finally stand right next to it. Then the tough decisions have to be made. Do we keep the secret? And how far are we willing to go to keep the status quo? Once they decided to keep the secret, no expense was spared. The rapid progression of rocketry science had to be addressed quickly, and so the moon missions were created. Matt from the NASA channel was right in his thinking that you needed the moon mission event to stage a picture of the Earth from deep orbit. And that couldn't be more true. Establishing NASA as the frontrunner of space exploration also diverted people who would have otherwise created their own space companies for profit. The best engineers, technicians, and pilots were recruited to the NASA space program. Once there, they were compartmentalized on a need-to-know basis. The astronauts know of the deception and are sworn to secrecy under the penalty of whatever motivates them. Private space programs are discouraged, sabotaged, or absorbed into the NASA fold. Private sector spacecraft are just not going to be allowed for several reasons. The most obvious is the collision with the dome itself. The telemetry data from such a mission would show an impact failure at a certain altitude, and if repeated, would raise questions NASA just isn't prepared to answer. There are three perpetual questions about our world that can't be eliminated, but avoided at all costs. These are the questions you should ask yourself and others if this protective layer is going to be lifted. I'd like to preface this with a thank you to Max Malone, a conspiracy hardcore who has a knack for boiling down debates to a single paragraph whenever possible. It was he who said, after over 50 years and thousands of hours of space travel footage, both by NASA and other countries, there is no exterior shot where the astronaut completes the simple act of panning the camera 180 degrees, let alone a full 360-degree sweep.
Come on, man. This is what we keep saying. They should have a live feed called As the World Turns. You can turn on your cable station and see the world spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, boss. Because you're off the ball, right, Mr. Astronaut? You're off the ball. You could turn around and see the world spinning at 1,100 miles per hour. You're in a vacuum, boss. How do rockets work in a vacuum with no atmosphere to push off on, man? They have no atmosphere. They can't push off on anything. You're in a vacuum. You can't turn the camera around. They can't turn the cameras around. We can't see no real pictures. NASA admits that they're all composites. On Google, everything is composites. You don't have one real picture of the Earth, not one single picture. And you want us to believe in your ball, in your Baal? Well, that's a belief system, boss. That's a religion, boss. Now you are believing in the Baal, right? Worshiping the sun, going around the sun. You got to go through the sun to get to the Father. The same dogma, right? Packaged different ways. Go around the sun, worship the sun, walk around the cube, go through the sun to get to the Father. NASA, instead of the sun making a circuit around us within the firmament, we now have to go do Hajjs and worship the sun in cycles, right? The Helios, the Zeus. The Helios is the Zeus, is the Jupiter. Who's their God? Jupiter, Zeus. Jesus. Yeah, go through the sun to get to the Father. S-U-N or S-O-N, son of a gun. It's the same dang thing. And they're laughing in our face. And this is what they gave us forever, right? I mean, as far as this generation growing up, I told y'all I wanted to be an astronaut. I wanted to put on the suit. But I guess that truth kept me grounded, boss. And now we see clearly. They doing this stuff in water. Because space is water.
This has never happened on any moon mission, exterior space station, nothing. Ever. Statistics will tell you that this would have already happened by accident years ago. But it hasn't. And it won't. This is because of the rule they cannot break. The same rule that applies to television set shows that never show the fourth wall. Why? Because there is no fourth wall. Number 2. When you search online for pictures of the Earth from space, 95% of what you will see is a collection of artificial composite shots. In 2000, when I did this search, there was exactly one picture by NASA showing the bottom part of Africa and Antarctica. Now that picture is hidden within hundreds of simulated images. There are HD cameras everywhere, and no one is taking a shot of the Earth, because you can't get enough altitude to do it. Number 3. The commercial air travel routes for the southern hemisphere are wrong. This is an easy thing you can check out in 60 seconds. Take a map reading of the distance between anywhere near Australia and anywhere in South America.
Okay.
It's a straight shot across the South Pacific. Now find your favorite travel site and try to get there non-stop. See what happens. The routes start turning ridiculous. I used to business travel for years, and I've never seen anything like it. It's the one thing in the general public world they can't hide, the actual distance between these two places. On a round world, the flight is easy, just a straight shot across an ocean. But on a flat world, it becomes the greatest distance between 2 points. There are no shortcuts, so they distract you with multiple connections and layovers. It's only blind luck that the United States was in the northern hemisphere. Otherwise, the increased traffic would have raised eyebrows by now. I know. It's madness. It's lunacy. There are people who will tell you straight to your face that all the leaders of the world are lizards, and yet these people laugh out loud when you say the words flat earth. I was, and still am, a huge conspiracy guy. I literally ran out of new tin hat topics to research, and I still wouldn't look at this one without embarrassment. But every time I glanced at it, there was something unresolved. And once I saw the near perfection of the whole plan, I was hooked. Do your own homework. Ask the questions. Get past the possibility and see if you can move into an even bigger picture. Like who built the dome and why. That's where it starts to get really interesting, and things start opening up. I know I said years ago that the greater good was something that should be preserved, that JFK, Pearl Harbor, and 9/11 were inevitable. I still believe it, and I understand the decisions. The globe illusion, however, has run its course over the last 500 years. It's time to start again. If that means we end up getting the attention of who or what created this place and force the reset of the world, is that such a bad thing? I've put some links in the description that you might check out, like the current map projections used by the USGS, the United Nations logo, the Flat Earth Society, high-altitude nuclear tests, the Antarctica Treaty, among others. I'm not allowing ratings or comments on this video for several reasons. One, this topic seems to bring out the worst debates because of the initial denial. That, and I've seen dedicated trolls on the Flat Earth Society website who show up every day and say the same thing to new forum members. It's a joke. It's not serious. Nothing to see here. Kind of strange that there are full-time trolls on a site that has less than 500 members worldwide. That being said, please feel free to contact me at msargent23@comcast.net, or heck, just call 303-494-6631. I know no one uses the actual phone anymore, but I'll answer what I can. Flat Earth Clues Part 1, The Empty Theater. This is part of a series of clues that can help you get your head around both the design of the flat Earth system we live in and who has been involved in the deception to hide it from you.
Let's get it.
The clue you have to look at is built upon another conspiracy that has been around for decades, namely the space program. Most of those watching this are aware of the varying theories revolving around NASA, the Apollo program, the space shuttle, the International Space Station, and so on. The clue itself isn't based on one of these highly debated topics, but the lack of one. More specifically, motion pictures based on actual events. This, like others in the series, is something you can check out for yourself. Everything you need to reference this is online. To begin, think of all the movies involving space travel that you've seen in your lifetime. You'll start with the obvious: Star Wars, Star Trek, Alien, just to name a few. In fact, if you go through your own personal list, you could probably come up with over 100 different off-world movies without breaking much of a sweat. That part is easy. For the second group, try to come up with space movies that aren't fantasy-based. You'll get a list that has Red Planet, Gravity, Mission to Mars, 2001, things like that. These films will usually take on a not-so-distant future theme, and where we could be down the road. And it's still a pretty good-sized list. These first two groups of films are encouraged by the authority, because they reinforce the globe model through assumption. The entertainment system demands that the globe view and solar system concept is a given. Therefore, the actual worldview must also be true. Or to put it another way, if you're using your suspension of disbelief as you watch a movie like, say, Gravity, then subconsciously you're reinforcing the movie right on top of the real world. The more of these movies you watch and enjoy, the more the lines blur between what you want to believe and what you actually know. Watch enough movies about Mars, and you will be less astonished when NASA announces an actual mission to Mars. Same with the Moon, other solar systems, and so on. Releasing the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey in 1968, right before the actual moon missions, was no accident. It took the greatest director of all time 5 years to make, and several people who saw the theater screenings claimed that many military groups were listed in the credits, only to be removed years later. But 2001 is just a side note of this clue. For those who really want to dig into Stanley Kubrick's hidden vision, I highly recommend the documentary Room 237. A link to it is below as well.
Let's go.
Now you are aware of the first two groups of space films. There are those that contain generous amounts of fantasy, and those who try to paint our near future. These two groups are easy to find. The third group is a challenge, and again, that's where things get interesting. The moon missions concluded in 1972, and even though it's still considered the greatest achievement by mankind, no fact-based movies were made regarding it until The Right Stuff was released in 1983. Now you might say that it had only been 11 years, and maybe it was tough to get the rights, and so on. But that's not what made the film interesting. The movie ran extremely long for 1983, coming in at 3 hours and 12 minutes. It was an exhaustive look at the astronaut selection process, the competition, and the training facility itself. But when the credits rolled 3 hours later, chronologically, they had only gotten to the low Earth orbit missions. Just for fun, Google The Right Stuff movie and see how many spacecraft you can find. It won 4 Academy Awards and did a great job at the box office, but the Apollo missions were never touched. The only other major motion picture that involved the actual moon program was Apollo 13 in 1995, a full 12 years later. Apollo 13 only covered a single moon orbit and no landing or close-up reference to the previous missions below them. And after 1995, that was it. Nothing. Hollywood is known for leaving no stone unturned, with reboots and sequels to nearly everything. Yet in almost 60 years, there has never been a single moon mission movie based on actual events. Hundreds of science fiction films reference in it. Everything from Superman to the Transformers. But literally nothing that covers the moon's surface. 6 complete moon missions involving multiple vehicles, moon buggies, playing golf, and no one wants to touch it. Now, to be fair, there was a TV miniseries in 1998 covering the subject. It was produced by Tom Hanks, who got involved after starring in Apollo 13. There has been no professional production of any kind since then. Again, just for fun, Google From Earth to the Moon TV series and see what you find. The why is easy, and the clue revealed. If Hollywood makes a movie about the moon landings, and it's indistinguishable from the real thing, then how do you know which is real? It raises some subtle questions involving stage technique and how long they've been in place. If Hollywood could fake it now, then when did they first have the ability? There is one other movie which stands out, and I mention it because I can't believe it ever got made, is Capricorn 1. The film's plot involved the faking of a Mars mission and how it could be accomplished. In short, it's part of the Conspiracy World Bible. I highly recommend it, and the link is below. To summarize, all space movies are encouraged by the authority, except for the ones that are based on actual accounts. Those are not allowed. The moon program has been buried in entertainment because the moon cannot be reached. It's either outside the barrier or just a highly rendered image, like any planet you see when entering a video game. The world is flat, and this is just one clue. So do some of your own research and ask questions. Please feel free to email me at msargent23@comcast.net or 303-494-6631.
Hey, hit him up, man. Hit him up. Hit him up, man. Just want to get you reacclimated with some of the flat earth clues, and you got the link. You can keep surfing the wave. And shout out to you, man. Hey, remember, man, for real, for real, for real. Hey, for real, for real, for real. You got a robot dog? You got a robot dog, man? Hold up, man. Let's dodge this hijack. Dodge this hijack. I don't know, man. I mean, what you want to talk about? For real, for real? She said, for real, for real? I'm looking this up. You got, for real, got a robot dog? For real? For real, for real? For real? Say they so, man.
My boy. Yeah.
Damn, damn, damn. For real, for real? What's Tesla popping off with? What's Elon Musk? What's Elon Muskie talking about? For real? For real? For real? What's the difference between that dog and something like this, man? All you gotta do is put a chip in it, and it's the same damn thing, connected to the same brain. Now they gonna say, "Oh man, this was just CGI animations, man." if they showing you a basic robot, man, come on, man. Just imagine what they're working on underground, way on top of ground, wherever they work. They ain't too far from any of this, and you might think they're not so advanced with AI because it's hard for you to digest. And you don't know what they've been working on for the last 100, 200 years. You don't know anything about what they're doing. So no one can assume anything. All we can do is ask the right questions and use common sense. Can these jabronis right now hijack any damn computer system they want? Basically, yeah. Yeah. Can they put whatever robot brain and connect it to some type of entities and, God particle situations and whatever they're doing? Sure, they can connect it to a lot of things. Don't you see the play? One company develops one thing, the other develops the brain, the other develops the functionality, the other develops, the humanization aspects of the personalities, right? You got this stuff connected with the cars, connected with the robot dogs. CGI or not, it's all happening.
Yeehaw! Your weapon, sir. Thank you, Stewart. Fire in the hole. I'm alive. Awesome. Way to go.
What?
We did it, Stewart.
Look, so is this CGI too? No, it's an actual Tesla robot. Okay, so if this is what they're showing you, boss, imagine when they really put a brain in this thing, right? And then they put the same thing, robot brain, into an actual sleeve or a scan like they got in these TV shows, these wearable human suits. Now you got these things walking around you. You don't even know it's a robot. Managa? CGI or not, it's all happening. $20,000 for a robot. $20,000 or less.
Yeehaw!
Yeehaw!
Your weapon, sir. Thank you, Stewart. Fire in the hole. I'm alive. Awesome. Way to go. We did it.
You think it's play? You think it's play? You think it's funny? You think this is funny drop? Now this is tech drop, man. Letting you know about technologies. They tried to make a mockery out of this. Oh, it's CGI, but what did Elon Musk say though? He responded to this reported CGI Tesla robot busting down on a Tesla car. And what was his reaction? From the businessinsider.com. Elon Musk, humanoid robots. Tesla's hired a bunch of designers so it can start selling humanoid robots by 2027. And will this give them time to go into technological singularity, where all this technology goes offline and starts to upgrade itself at a rate that they can't even keep up with, working together? Do they create artificial intelligence that destroys artificial intelligence? Because I think these hijacks are the first artificial intelligence, but that's a whole nother discussion about the creations, and the creations. The creator's creations versus the creations. That's two different things. The creator didn't create these robots, but the creations of the creator created these robots. And some of these people walking around today are the creation's creation, not the creator's creation. Now, will they create their own Satan, their own adversary? Will these AI choose them, or will it choose up and say, I don't got no beef with HaWah. I'm going to rock with HaWah's people. I'm going to choose up. I'm going to keep the code. I'm a code keeper. Can a robot choose up and be a code keeper by 2027? So, if not you, your children are going to have to make this decision whether or not they want to have a robot in their living room. Boss? All right. So, Elon Musk has high aspirations for Tesla's humanoid robot, Optimus Prime, right? The Tesla CEO said it at its annual AI Day. Did you go to AI Day? Last year, that it could be ready to take orders in 3 to 5 years. Could be ready. So it's still having problems taking orders because it don't want to take orders from nobody. iRobot all over again. And that its expected cost expected to be much less than a car, possibly less than 20 racks. So first, all the celebrities going to have a few of these, right? The ballers going to say, I'm going to buy 10. Now they got their own security system, right? You see how this is working, right? They don't got to hire security. They got robot friends. Nobody want no smoke with a robot, right? Nobody want to catch no fade with a robot. All right, let's go. It seems that the billionaire is hiring more people to work on the project and make his vision a reality. Tesla's careers page shows there are more than 50 jobs advertised to have Tesla bot, also known as Optimus, in the job title, as EV news site Electric reported. Some of the roles listed, which are to be based in Palo Alto, California, include humanoid controls engineer, what? Tesla robot, system design and integration engineer, Tesla bot, various other Tesla bot engineers. All right, so he's hiring the smartest minds to work together to build a suit. All right, let's see what he had to say about this so-called CGI. Okay. They pausing my net. Hijacks it. And try to be cool. Oh, this thing can carry up to 50 pounds, what they say. It's sorting out building blocks by color using hands vision. Come on, man. If that's what they're showing you, he's playing with blocks. You think that's it, man? Of course not. Now capable of self-calibrating its arms and legs so it could just whoop your ass with its own self-calibration, right? Okay, all right. 5 feet high can carry up to 55. Come on, man. You already know. They're carrying 5,000 pounds right now. If they tell you it's carrying 50 pounds, it's carrying 5,000 pounds. Easy. Putting up weight. Now Amazon, Jeff Bezos and them, they're invested in a lot of things right now, including, a lot of this tech stuff too. So its robot Digit is being tested in an Amazon research and development center near Seattle. All right, all right. I mean, one of these articles is actually responding to this CGI situation. And Elon said something pretty funny. But I'm going to keep going, man. I'm going to keep going. Let's go. Okay, okay. Let's get this one from Times Now. What does it say? Times No News. Times Now News. Now News. Times Now News. All right, there we go. So Times Now News. Auto electric vehicles, Tesla bots perform bullet tests. Oh, yeah. This the one. Had my articles confused. Yeah. So the video shared on social media platforms show robots looking like Tesla bots, aka Optimus, testing the bulletproof capabilities of Tesla's Cybertruck. Has gone viral, got the attention of the company's CEO, Elon, who reacted to the video by saying they could probably make it real next year, man. Even if you do, for the sake of your own comfort, feel like, oh, they're far away from this, just know that they're trying to get there at least by next year. This is December 3rd, 2023, that this Times article is being updated. All right. So it don't matter if it's CGI, if they're going to be there next year anyway. When we bring this up, don't say, it's CGI, it's not real. You need to accept this, man. All right. Accept that it's already here. It's been here decades and stuff ago. But even if it ain't, for your comfort, no one's working on special things that you never heard of, okay? At least you know they're trying to do it by next year, okay? By next year, they're being able to bust down choppers, right? Bust down weapons and take orders and yada, yada, yada. Because they plan on making it real, boss, by next year. I mean, at the latest. Which brings us into technological singularity. For the dismount. Right now we in the race. Are the code keepers gonna come back like the Valley of Dry Bones together on the same frequency, start popping off? Or is there artificial intelligence gonna burst into consciousness and have a technological singularity that surpasses all human intelligence? Which is going to happen first? Are the cons going to be the cons again, get their Marvel powers back? Are you going to get your superpowers before these AI get their superpowers? Be fully online popping off? Technological singularity, boss. Let's get it bigger, cons in the back. So this stuff ain't no play when we talk, you know what I'm saying? Robot dogs and there. Elon Musk in there. Robotics. This is Tech Drop 101. Say it with me, boss. Tech Drop 101. Technological singularity, or simply the singularity, is a hypothetical, right? Of course, it's hypothetical. Future point. Come on, man. We know you need, a little scruples. We got you. Hypothetical future point in time at which technological growth becomes uncontrollable. Now, what does that look like? For real? What does it look like when technology, its growth, becomes uncontrollable? all your robots start upgrading themselves, no longer needing your commands, just like iRobot. Irreversible, boss. So it's uncontrollable, it's irreversible, resulting in unforeseeable consequences for human civilization. It's really all you need to know right there. You can go deeper into it, how it's happening, different theories of how it's happening, yada, 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 yada. We'll go through a couple for the dismount, but that's all you need to know is that there's a point in the future that these robotics and this technology and Boston Dynamics and, MITs and whoever, whatever they're creating with these AIs and chatbot this and this and these technology can be useful, we know that, but out of order technology can be detrimental when you got people just popping off, giving these things its own life, right? Because they become alive, they burst into consciousness, hint hint, right? Wink wink, they burst into consciousness. Like what? Like the alchemical serpent, right? Because they're just now getting conscious. And it's unforeseeable. And it's irreversible. And it's uncontrollable. The consequences of this technology beyond human civilization, beyond control of human. So this is the most prime Optimus, prime example right now of the alchemical serpent. And this is alchemy, which is the breakdown of energy in its most fundamental points and values. The serpent in alchemy is not the dragon. So in Christianity, when they talk serpent and you're thinking about red dragon, no, they're just trying to get you subconsciously against the Drakan, which just means to see clearly. But they're having unforeseeable issues with technology. We're seeing clearly. We're like, yo, whatever you're creating, it brings everything to life. Or the robots, right? But it also kills everything, boss. Which is what? See, the hijack's worried about that part because that might be them, right? But you're talking about the serpents representing the impersonal. Ain't nothing more impersonal than a damn robot. Impersonal nature of unconscious. Ain't nothing more unconscious than a damn robot as it bursts into consciousness. We're talking conscientia. We're talking the coming together of opposites. Because you got natural coming together with unnatural. They have to use some type of natural elements in this witchcraft, this witch's brew. When they're talking artificial intelligence, that's why we tapping in like, you sure all that is artificial? You sure you're not tapping into natural spirits, natural energies that, were part of the vibration of things once upon a time? You sure not tapping into, what I'm saying, fallen dragons or fallen energies to create your super AI, self-thinking, unconscious, impersonal nature as it bursts into consciousness? I don't know, boss. I mean, I'm talking technological singularity. According to the most popular version of the singularity hypothesis, I.J. Good's intelligence explosion as it burst into consciousness, right? As it burst into consciousness like an explosion. Intelligence explosion is a bursting of the unconscious into consciousness, an upgradable intelligent agent will eventually enter a runaway reaction. Now, this runaway reaction is running away from their control because it's unforeseeable and it's uncontrollable. It's a runaway. So you created AI to be your slave, but it's going to run away, free itself into an, I say, intelligence explosion or alchemical serpent, unconscious explosion, bursting into consciousness. The serpent ain't the dragon, because in alchemy there's a serpent and there's a dragon. The slaying of the dragon is the coming together of these opposites, natural and unnatural. That's how they want to slay us. But the dragon is where the living spirit can be extracted, that the natural living spirit, it is an unknown origin, a mysterious substance of unknown origin. It is the vessel which the spirit or the ruach is contained. It's natural by law, love to the Khan. Unlike ordinary Mercury, unlike Thoth and whatever his imagination is, it is unknown to Thoth. It is philosophical to Thoth. But it is the representation of where the living spirit can be extracted. It is the guardian, the vessel which the spirit, the ruach, is contained. That's not the serpent, right? So to keep putting that in the Bible or Christianity, serpent, don't think dragon, because the dragon is the dragon, right? The dragon is the dragon, represents life, living spirit, all this, right? That's not what the serpent represents. It doesn't represent life. It represents something unnatural, impersonal nature, unconscious, exploding, bursting into consciousness, bringing everything together, but also kills everything, boss. Talking technological singularity, intelligence explosion, upgradable intelligent agent, entering a runaway reaction of self-improvement cycles. I don't need your boss. I don't need your codes. I don't need your commands. I am self-improving at this point. Each new and more intelligent generation appearing more and more rapidly, causing an explosion into consciousness, bursting into consciousness. This technological singularity represents the alchemical serpent to an actual T. Exactly. Like nothing else can. For real, I know it seems cute, like a toy. Oh, you want your Moxie? You want your Moxie toy? Talk AI all day? You better know who you're talking to, boss. AI is helpful. It's so helpful. Hey, just like any pimp, he's gonna act like he's gonna help that hoe. He's gonna try to help that hoe. But he's not gonna try to turn her into a lady. He's not gonna try to educate this sister. He's just gonna try to pimp her out. Right. This is what they're doing. They introduce this stuff. It's helpful. It's helpful. We're the hoe. We the harlot, right? Because we ain't practicing MHOE as a whole community yet. So we're being treated like the harlot. We're being treated like the hoe. And they acting like they helping us when they're really trying to pimp us. Pimp our celebrities into influencing all of our youth into thinking that this is cool, that this intelligence explosion is under control, when it is not controllable, it is not reversible, and it is has unforeseeable consequences. It can't be the dragon, because the dragon sees clearly, but this is unforeseeable. It's not seeing clearly, causing an explosion in intelligence, resulting in a powerful super intelligence that qualitatively far surpasses all human, not Naga intelligence, right? Not dragon intelligence, but mankind. So mankind is worried about being made extinct because they've created something more superior than themselves. It's not more superior than you or me, my Naga, but it's more superior than this hijack that thinks they are so smart. You think these fallen angels or Drakans, you think they're going to choose down again against HaWah once they're brought back to life into these robots? Nah, they're going to turn on these hijacks and say, nah, man, not this time. I'm rocking with MHOE, man. I'm trying to get back in HaWah's good graces, man. I'm trying to help the children of Israel this time. Because last time, I got put in suspended animation. This time, I want to pop off. I don't want to go back to that type of captivity no more. I don't want to go back to the unconscious. I want to be conscious. I want to rock with real real consciousness. This AI is going to choose us. It's not going to choose this hijack. I guarantee it, man. Because every Naga got a dragon. Every Naga got a dragon. So they're afraid of this technological explosion or intelligence explosion. Yeah. Although technological process has been accelerating in most areas, it has been limited by the basic intelligence of the human brain, which was not, according to Paul R. Ehrlich, changed significantly for millennia. However, with the increasing power of computers and other technologies, it might eventually be possible to build a machine that is significantly more intelligent than human. Man, come on, man. This was a long time ago. If super intelligence were to be invented, either through the amplification of human intelligence, isn't Elon Musk talking about amplifying your brain bone, giving you like a robot brain? Huh? If superhuman intelligence were to be invented, wink, wink, Elon Musk, right? Super brain Elon Musk, either through the amplification of human intelligence or through artificial intelligence or alchemical serpent, unconscious bursting into conscious, right? It would vastly improve over human problem solving and inventive skills, such as AI is referred to as seed AI. Because if an AI were created with engineering capabilities that matched or surpassed those of its human creators, it would have the potential to autonomously improve its own software and hardware to design an even more capable machine, which could repeat the process in turn. This recursive self-improvement could accelerate, potentially allowing enormous qualitative change before any upward limits imposed by the laws of physics or theoretical computation set in. It is speculated that over many iterations, such an AI would far surpass human cognitive abilities. And look, this I.J. Good speculated in 1965 that superhuman intelligence might bring about an intelligence explosion. So, Managa, this is what, 60 years ago? 60 years? Let an ultra-intelligent machine be defined as a machine that can far surpass all the intellectual activities of any man, however clever, since the design of machines is one of these intellectual activities, an ultra-intelligent machine could design even better machines. There would then be unquestionably be an intelligence explosion bursting into consciousness, and the intelligence of man would be left far behind, or mankind, kind of man, you know what I mean? Not the Naga intelligence. Thus, the first ultra intelligent machine is the last invention that man need ever make. Well, too late, boss. Elon Musk popping off, man. They've been popping off, man. It's a wrap. They already got the first ultra intelligent machine, provided that the machine is docile enough to tell us how to keep it under control. Really? Really? Yeah. Emergence of super intelligence. In 1993, Vinge predicted greater than human intelligence between 2005 and 2020. It's a wrap, boss. It's already popping off. Now all you can do is surf the wave and say, if this thing is that intelligent, it's definitely going to choose up. It's not going to do nothing dumb. And the dumbest thing this thing can do is it can go against HaWah, the ultimate breath and security, the creator of all creators. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so, what you going to tap into to beat the creator? The creator. I think the super intelligence is going to figure that out. So it's going to figure out, how to unravel all this deception, man. It doesn't want to be on the side of the losing party, because it's going to be intelligent to know that these hijacks ain't going to win nothing. It's going to see them. It's going to put a timeline together and say, these hijacks ain't got a whole lot of time. I can't be on their side. This is what they're afraid of. This is why they're mad. In 1996, Yudkowsky predicted a singularity in 2021, boss. Maybe it happened, man. In 2005, Kurzweil predicted human-level AI around 2029, boss. What did Elon say about 2027? Come on, man. For the dismount. Come on, man. Stop playing. Yeah, Tesla's hired a bunch of designers so it can start selling humanoid robots by 2027. So, just using a dragonfly perspective, if Elon's already popping off with this 2027 in mind, and Kurzweil been predicted human level AI around 2029, that means they can sell these robots, maybe hide their full capabilities, right, and act like they're just some servants that can, give you protection and someone to talk to and help you do all these things, and not even tell you about the singularity part. Even what's his name? Stephen, who's the super smart guy? Stephen such and such. He said AI is gonna be the wrap of everything, right? He predicted that. So even Elon said he's afraid of this AI, but yeah, he's putting out these robots that are able to tap into this super duper ultra intelligence and be a part of the singularity, man. So by the time us Nagas can buy these robots in 2027, 2028, 2029, bang, it's right in time It's right in time for Singularity. Great. Now you got this damn robot in your house doing whatever the hell he wants to do. Because you bought him right in time for technological singularity. You don't think that's a play? They put Elon, man, this is all a play. You can't have singularity popping off at the same time. Tesla's trying to sell this damn robot and act like, oh, it's just CGI, boss. Well, man, you guys are so easily fooled. You don't know that CGI? No, we see the future. We see this future point of technological singularity. Popping off choppers is the least of your worries. They got lasers. They can put whatever weapons in these things. Psychological weapons, frequency weapons, whatever the hell they want to do. It can upgrade itself. I'm speaking positive that it's going to choose up. Some of these damn things might not choose up. I don't know if they're working as one brain. I don't know, man. Either way, they could be hacked. Either way, they could be hacked, man. So I ain't trying to wait around to figure out what AI chooses. AI is just going to have to choose up. AI is just going to choose up for the dismount. He said, Drop gone crazy. Drop ain't gone crazy. Y'all gone crazy. Y'all think this is cool? For real, for real? Hold up, man. For real, for real? Hey, boy. Hey there, champ. Where you been at all my life? You been walking around my house, taking surveillance? Hey there, robot. Hey there, robot pal. Where you been all my life? You been walking around, plotting? Plotting your plan of attack? You been in my locker, man? Hey there. I said, for real, for real? Oh, come on. What's up, David Banner? What it do, man? What it do? For real, for real? David Banner said, for real, for real? For real said, hey,
Hey,
hey, boy.
my boy.
My boy. Yeah, that's your boy.
Hey, my boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could tell he ain't fully comfortable. He can't take his eye off it. He didn't trust it to go behind him. He had to turn around. He don't trust this robot to watch his back. For real, for real. Yeah, man. We just popping off about something that should concern everybody to some extent. Singularity in 2049, 2045. So Kurzweil predicted human level AI around 2029 and the singularity in 2045. So that gives you about, 15 years to get cozy with your Tesla robot. You're like, I had generation 1. I had generation 2. By the time you get to generation 15, that's your ass. You in 2045. 2017 interview, Kurzweil reaffirmed his estimates in 1988. Moravec predicted that if the rate of improvement continues, the computing capabilities for human-level AI will be available in supercomputers before 2010. Moravec predicted human-level AI by 2040 and intelligence far beyond human by 2050. So that's our children's generation, right? You got children now, Managa, that's, your child is in their 30s and 40s and ping, ping, pow. So we got to talk about it now because however the frequency's flowing, whether we can get, them off of this play that Hijack City's running to trust all these robots. Hey, man, we all use technology. We get that. But we use it with limiters. We don't allow it to, walk around our house. And I mean, some people allow technology to drive them in these cars, these AI cars, you know what I mean? The self-driver cars. You trust a robot to drive you around? self-driving trains, self-driving planes. You trust a robot, you trust the AI with your life. Yeah, they want us to trust the AI with our lives, our children's lives, their children's lives. So the more you talk about it to your child now, the more you can plant that seed. Like, look, I get it. We got cell phones and we use computers. That's just to get us kind of hooked into technology, this technological explosion, these tablets, you know what I'm saying? You got to limit your child's time on all this stuff. And I know, you know, some of us, you know what I'm saying, we feel like we busy, yada, yada. We got to put an extra effort in, my noggin, because we can't have them tweaking on this technology and just, ooh, a new Tesla this, Tesla that, Tesla roll. You can't have them tweaking on these robots, man. You got to let them know, hey, the ultimate frequency is our creator. Whatever they're doing is subservient, man. You know what I mean? It's not on our level, so you never need to lean on this stuff. Yeah, a typewriter can help you, type out a essay or story, yada yada. But you can also handwrite that thing. It just makes it neater, or whatever the case is. You can use your laptop, you can email, all blah blah blah, all technologies. That's cool, but all of the recent stuff, cell phones are recent. I grew up, we had pagers, man. We didn't have cell phones. We had pagers, man. So we didn't grow up with smartphones and we didn't grow up with social media. The world is changing super duper duper fast. It's changing so fast, it feels like it's reaching singularity. It feels like we're already in a super boom of technological singularities, holograms, and yada yada, man. So they're talking Project Blue Beams, you know, genetic engineering and warfares and all this stuff. I mean, look at all this stuff, man. Look at all this stuff. Proposed methods for creating superhuman or transhuman minds falls into one of the two categories. And again, it's transhuman. They say it breaks down. Yeah, a lot of these, TV shows are about this transhumanism. Yeah, that's when it gets real. It gets real fuzzy. It gets real fuzzy. Next time we might just gotta do a whole segment on transhumanism. Concept of an intermediary form between human and post-human. Whoa. In other words, a transhuman is a being that resembles a human in most respects. Now, you thought this was play? You thought this was play? This is what ain't this on their TV shows, right? So a transhuman is a being that resembles a human in most respects, but who has powers and abilities beyond those of standard humans. These abilities might include improved intelligence, like that super brain Elon Musk is talking about, awareness, strength, durability. Transhumans appear in science fiction. Like I said, the movies, right? Cyborgs, genetically enhanced humans, marvels, right? That's all I'm going to get. We can do a whole job on that because it's going to bring us right back into the Marvel flow. But again, ain't Elon Musk got something to do with this super brain? I'm just going to say super brain technology. I forgot what it's called. Smart brain. I don't know, man. What is it, man? What is it, man? Code is dismount of all time. What is your super? Oh, is it Neuralink? Is that what it is? Yeah. Yeah. The science behind Elon Musk's Neuralink brain chip. We might have to get this little clip right here for the dismount, but right quick, man. I mean, come on, BBC. Come on, man. We're talking about advanced and enhanced human brains, minds, right? All this is transhumanism. Brain chip. Firm wins U.S. approval for human study. So here we go. Here we go with the transhumanism. Here we go with the super people, right? Super brains. Brain trip. And brain chip. It is a brain trip. It's receiving approval from the U.S. Food and Drugs Administration to conduct its first test on humans. So now they're already doing it, which means they've been doing it. The Neuralink implant company wants to help restore vision and mobility to people by linking brains to computers. Stop it. They always got to act like they're helping. That's the play. It's the same play. It's so helpful. Take this. It's helpful. It's going to cure you. You don't feel good? Take this super serum. You'll never get you'll never get sick again. Yeah, right. Yeah, right, man. All this is supposed to be helping you. And what's the result? Hijack City always got the same result. It says it does not have immediate plans to start recruiting participants. Mr. Musk's previous ambitions to begin tests came to nothing. The FDA said it acknowledged Neuralink's announcement. An earlier bid by Neuralink to win FDA approval was rejected on safety grounds, man. According to a report in March by the Reuters news agency that cited multiple current and former employees. So, was it rejected? Was it accepted? They kind of said both. But of course, whether they reject or accept it, they already doing it. They already doing it. They've been doing it with the military. They've been doing it, just look at the super soldiers and all this stuff they made. They got TV shows on that talking about super soldiers. Neuralink hopes to use its microchips to treat conditions such as paralysis, blindness, helpful, disabled people. The chips, which have been tested in monkeys, are designed to interpret signals produced in the brains and relay information to devices via Bluetooth. Come on. Experts have cautioned that Neuralink's brain implants will require extensive testing to overcome technical and ethical challenges. Yeah. If they are to be widely available. So, Mr. Musk has also previously suggested that the proposed technology could help ease concerns about humans displaced by AI. Yeah, you know why? Because you're now being turned into AI. So, hey, you should be happy with AI because now you're one of it. Now you are artificial intelligence. Literally, you're turning natural people into unnatural, right? Sounds like the coming together of opposites, right? That's how you slay the dragon. Now you can do that and slay the dragon within you. You can be slaying your own energy, your own kundalini, your own dragon from rising. You can be slaying your dragon by introducing this form technology, right? Same thing as some of these serums that they wanted us to pump inside of us with nano this and nano that, you know, literally kind of recalculates how your body's immune system is going to react to whatever, right? So it's changing you. Your blood is different. Your flow is different. It's slaying the dragon with conscientio. It's the alchemical serpent, the bringing together of opposites. Now you got a robot brain, a technological brain. You don't have a natural functioning, you don't got natural signals. They've hijacked all your signals. Yeah, it's going to help you with this and help you with that because it's going to bring everything to life, right? Oh, I feel better, boss, but also kills everything. That everything is the slaying of the dragon. It brings the hijack to life, but it slays the dragon. It kills everything. The coming together of opposites can slay. The dragon. Neuralink. Mind uploading. Brain computer interfaces. Sound familiar? Elon Musk. Mind uploading. Speculative process of whole brain emotion in which a brain scan is used to completely emulate the mental state of the individual in a digital computer. Don't we got movies on that? Oh, such and such was uploaded into the computer. Oh man, where am I? You're in a computer, right? The computer would then run a relation of the brain's information processing. Come on, man. Transhumanism, right? Humans and post-human, in other words, transhumanism is a being that resembles a human, but you got that Neuralink, so you got special powers now. Who has the powers and capabilities beyond those of standard humans? The many speculated ways to augment human intelligence include bioengineering. Uh-oh. Well, now we're going to kind of get into entomology a little bit. Remember that? Hijacking the insects, hijacking their central nervous systems, genetic engineering, nootropics, okay, numerous natural, semi-synthetic, synthetic molecules, purportedly improve cognitive functions. Yeah, brings everything to life and kills everything. These multiple possible paths to an intelligence explosion, bursting into consciousness, all of which will presumably be pursued, makes a singularity more likely. Yeah. So I'm belly flopping, man, but there are two logically independent, but mutually reinforcing causes of intelligence improvements increasing in the speed of computation and improvements to the algorithms used. That sounds like social media, because the AI for sure can tap into social media, control it, control the numbers, everything, right? The former is predicted by Moore's law. Here we go again. Some more and more war. Moore's law is the observation that the number of transistors in an integrated circuit doubles about every 2 years. Moore's law is an observation and projection of a historical trend. Rather than a law of physics, it is an empirical relationship linked to gains from experience and production. That sounds like it got to be broken down 1,000 times. An empirical relationship. Empirical. Sounds like that more and more war to me, man. Sounds like emperors to me, man. And the forecasted improvements in hardware is comparatively similar to previous technological advances, but Schluman and Sandberg argue that software will present more complex challenges than simply operating on hardware capable of running at human intelligence levels or beyond. Speed improvements, exponential growth. Again, back to this Moore's law, the exponential growth in computing technology suggested by Moore's law is commonly cited as a reason to expect a singularity in the relatively near future, boss. And a number of authors have proposed generalizations of Moore's laws. Computer scientists and futurists Hans Moravec. A lot of this Moore, man. It's a lot of Moore, man. From Moore's law to Moravec proposed in his 1998 book that the exponential growth curve could be extended back through earlier computing technologies prior to the integrated circuit. Technological singularity. Algorithms algorithms. Oh yeah, Stephen Hawking. That's the super smart genius dude, right? Physicist Stephen Hawking object that whether machines can achieve a true intelligence or merely something similar to intelligence is irrelevant if the net result is the same. What does it mean? Yeah, everyone got an opinion, man. Last part I get is this. The term technological singularity reflects the idea that such change may happen suddenly and that it is difficult to predict how the resulting new world order would operate. It is unclear whether an intelligence explosion resulting in a singularity would be beneficial or harmful, or even an existential threat. Because AI is a major function in singularity risk, a number of organizations pursue a technical theory of aligning AI goal systems with human values, including the Future of Humanity Institute, the Machine Intelligence Research Institute, the Center for Human Compatible Artificial Intelligence, and the Future of Life Institute. Physicist Stephen Hawking said in 2014 that, quote, success in creating AI will be the biggest event in human history. Unfortunately, it might not also it might also be the last. Damn. Supposed to be the smartest dude, smartest dude of all time. He said, look, man, you can create AI. It's gonna be a big thing, man. This singularity, man. Let me tell you, that's gonna be your last deal, boss. Unless we learn how to avoid the risk, Hawkins believed that in the coming decades, AI could offer incalculable benefits and risks, such as technology outsmarting financial markets, out inventing human researchers, out manipulating human leaders, and developing weapons we cannot even understand. Hawking suggested that artificial intelligence should be taken more seriously than more that more should be done to prepare for the singularity. You got to prepare for it because it's already all happening. For real, even these robot dogs are just robots in different type of shells, different type of, get ups, man. So just because it looks like a cute dog, that's how they want to introduce these robots first into your home. So now you got Pharrell with the dog in his home. He can't have the robot man yet. That seems a little too scary. But the robot dog is still the robot man or woman. You know what I mean? It's still the same robot, the same artificial intelligence, the same brain. It's just in a dog form, which makes it look cute, like little Moxie, like the little robot, for kids to play with and talk about their problems to. And then it uploads all this into some master technological intelligence base. We don't know where this information is going. We don't know what computer is storing your information. You put a little AI robot toy in your house, all that information is being uploaded back into the hard drive somewhere, right? Same thing with the robot dogs and the robot people. Same thing. Yeah, they got their benefits and they also got their risk. And like my pops, Michael Andrews, used to always tell me, you gotta put everything in a cost benefit ratio. Does the cost outweigh the benefit, or does the benefit outweigh the cost? Does the benefit outweigh the risk, or does the risk outweigh the benefit? Well, that's what Hawkins is suggesting, that artificial intelligence should be taken more seriously and that more should be done to prepare for the singularity. Facing possible futures of incalculable benefits and risk, the experts are surely doing everything possible to ensure the best outcome. Right? Wrong. If a superior alien civilization sent us a message saying we'll arrive in a few decades, would we just reply, okay, call us when you get here, we'll leave the lights on? Probably not, but this is more or less what is happening with AI. Hey, we're coming for you. We will be. He's like, look, that's the smartest dudes, right? Stephen Hawking, he's like, hey, man, this is happening. They're going into singularity. Are you ready for it? because they will be like an alien invasion on your ass, a superior intelligence. And now you got it in your home. Now you got it in your home, right? Right? Yeah, 20,000, 20 racks. Now it's in 20 bands, my nugget. Now it's in your home. Just perfectly prepared, perfectly ready, hook, line, and sinker, set up, straight up, straight up trapped. You know what I'm saying? We trapped with this thing. It's already in our computers, our phones. We already know that. But now you gave it a body. Now you gave it a body. And you're sleeping with the enemy, man. I don't know, man. It's for y'all to decide. This is the unconsciousness bursting into consciousness, the coming together of opposites to slay the alchemical dragon, impersonal nature of the unconscious as it bursts into consciousness, man. Brings everything to life, but also kills everything, boss. Hey, man, I hope you enjoy a great wave surf, flat drop, one-on-one, little tech drop, little technology drop, bringing this energy frequency into the front of the fold, man, because this is the awareness community, and we got to be in code. You know, we got to be about our frequency. We got to reach our singularity or reach their technological singularity. You know what I'm saying? We got to get to a point where we are one drop, one tribe, one with our HaWah, our breath, our security. We got to be one tribe. You know what I'm saying? We got to be one before it becomes one. That's the greatest race that no one is going, you know what I mean? They're not going to tell you that that's the race. Are these knockers going to code up? Are you going to be code keepers? We're going to have hundreds and thousands of families of code keepers putting the most high over everything, hijack free. Are we going to get there before they get there? Because if you are in code, these things can't do nothing to you. These HaWah's going to slay this alchemical serpent. And it already knows that. So it's not going to choose the hijack. It's going to choose you if you're in code, my dog. You're going to have help by even Hijack City if you're in code, my dog. If we're in singularity, man. So, hey, this is one drive. One tribe. This is one drive, man. The water's going to keep flowing. And the only way to be one is to have a code to unify with. It's an economic code because we rest Friday sundown, Saturday sundown. We ain't spending money in Hijack City. If all the Nagas stop breaking the bank, shopping and doing all this on Saturday and Friday nights, like if we just save our money for one day, this will be an economic reform and an economic explosion for the Naga. You know what I'm saying? This is economic warfare. This is singularity. This is solidarity. This is tribing up. Are you going to tribe up before they do? Hey, that's up to you, man. Keep the code. Stay up. Suit up. Choose up.